Welcome to Natural Habitat Adventures, Daily Dose of Nature. Today's topic, Charismatic Chitwan, Nepal's first national park, presented by Nat Hab expedition leader, Arpita Dutta. I'm your host, Rob Mess. Thank you all so much for joining us here today. Over to you, Arpita.
Thank you so much, Rob. As usual, you say it so nicely. And thank you so much for all the viewers who are here, who have tuned in today. As well as I'm always excited to share and to tell stories and to talk to all of you. I wish someday it happens that we actually do a conversation. I'll wait for that day. But today I'm going to bring a park, part of the forest, which is, again, I have worked there and we do trips there. But even before that, it is special. And why is it so special? Let's go. So in the very first picture, this is Mount Everest. Yes, and like the top of the world. And this Mount Everest, whenever we think the Mount Everest, these glaciers, the glacier lakes, everything about Mount Everest, we cannot skip talking about one country, which is Nepal, because of course it is so related. And I guess Nepal, first of all, got all the tourism and the tours and the trips, and people get, Nepal gets more footfalls for Mount Everest since many, many years. You know, it's like a challenge for a lot of people to reach there, at least at the base camp. And I know few of our guests do the base camp as well. So, if I talk about the forest itself, sorry, yeah. So when we talk about Nepal, Nepal is such a tiny country, just sandwiched between the two huge landmasses. One is China and one is India. But being so small, it is so diverse with its landscape and biodiversity that it made a mark in the map of the world, not by the size or is just the country, but with the biodiversity hotspot it has. And there are places which have been claimed as, recognized as the World Heritage Sites in Nepal. So imagine this whole area. It is near about your 5,600 and 956 square miles. This is the whole area, and Nepal has a forest patch of almost 41.59% of the total area. So that we can say that it's almost 50% of the country is covered with forest. So if I say around India, like Indian subcontinent part, where Bhutan is of course a carbon neutral country, and apart from that, Nepal is also can be considered as a very green country. So here how we do the trip, I'll tell a bit. So we reach at Kathmandu, which is the capital city for Nepal, and from there we go to Chitwan National Park, and from there we are back to Kathmandu, and from Kathmandu we fly to Paro to do the cultural trip in Bhutan. So here, how Nepal looks from the top when you are about to reach Kathmandu. You know, there are small, smaller houses and all, but very scattered. Though Kathmandu, when you get down, it seems congested, but from the top, you can see that still there is so much of hills and terrains and the rivers. There are so many river systems and too many hills and areas that anywhere the congestion of any anthropogenic factors could be little lesser than any other places, even in India also. In any other places, if we compare to with any other places, that is pretty small. And here we land at Tribhuvan International Airport in Kathmandu, which looks like a bigger train station 10 years back. Now it has been developed quite a lot. And yes, it looks very different. It's not like the international airport what we generally see in different part of the countries. I mean, in different areas. Or so from there, we reach to beautiful. I would say it's like a living museum, Dwarka. So Dwarka is a heritage hotel. It's been long, like in near about 1952 or 1959. Sorry, I forgot the date. So it has been built with lots of wooden sculpture. I mean, architecture and whatever you see, and all there are too many stories in those cravings. So Nepal is very famous for wooden sculptures. So this has been built like that. So we spend a night at Dwarka, and not only spend the night there, it's delicious food. Can from the very first day you can feel that with the safari or with the wildlife safari and cultural safari, you have a food safari as well. There are different kinds, so they have more than 200 300 cuisine in each and every area of Nepal, and they present and they try to present and they touch few cultural taste buds, okay, to let you to introduce you to the Nepal like food preferences and how people live and stuff. This is absolutely stunning how you get the whole scenario out there. So every time what happens that after dinner, it seems like somebody needs to push me to my room, because yeah, I sometimes eat a lot. Then in the early morning, next day morning, we take a flight from Kathmandu to your Bharatpur. So Bharatpur, it just a 20 minutes flight with a small plane, and it reached there, and then you reach a bus stop, because there you will see your luggages are coming out in a trolley, which is a very different experience. And somewhere we stand, we know the label, so we stand and somehow we say, okay, that one is mine. So sometimes all these things happen, but it's not chaotic. It's just you need to recognize your luggages from there. So that's a different experience altogether, and I really love it. And then we, of course, enter the World Heritage Jungle and this charismatic Chitwan National Park. Imagine a park like this. So this is from the village side. You see this beautiful snow peak mountain and the lush green Mahabharat range. Then you have the forest patch, and then you have the paddy fields, which is on the village side, how this Chitwan looks like. And of course, I would say due to its variety of areas or landscapes, Chitwan has one of the most diverse wildlife we have in Nepal. So it's been claimed, it's been there's as a national park in 1973, and this is the first national park of Nepal. So one thing I would like to include so that you can get an idea of the development as well as for the conservation. We always say Royal Chitwan National Park. So where are this royal came from? So Nepal has been a country which had been ruled by a lot of king. So this area was like a game reserve for the royal people and their dignitary friends. So they used to come here for gaming, to hunt. But at a certain point, it was a massive. I mean, whenever they come, it's like more than 80, maybe 70, and it used to go for around a month. Okay, it's not a day or two gaming time. They used to stay there for like 15 days to 1 month inside the forest, and they continue this gaming thing. So after that, it has been seen after many years, especially thanks to King Mahendra, who realized it, that he went there for gaming with his friends, but then he realized that the number has reduced drastically, and that happened in 1959 when he took the pledge that the animals need to be conserved. And from there onwards, they have tried that to bring back all the population back there in that gaming reserve. And with a lot of work from 60s, end of 60s, it has become the reserve forest. And after that, in 1973, it termed as the national park. And they didn't stop there. There are a lot of other conservation stories. I'll get into that. So here, Chitwan is more situated here on the south and central part of Nepal. And you know what? This area is already, we have a natural corridor with India as well. So that's called the Valmiki Tiger Reserve. So yes, the animals do cross, but we cannot. We need the passport, and especially we are the neighboring country, so we don't need much. But yeah, without that, without immigration, we cannot cross. But thanks to this natural world, that they keep on connecting us between each other. Yes. So here, the area over here, what you see, this yellow dot, what you need to understand that this yellow dot area are called the buffer zone, and the green dot is a core area. So together, the buffer and core together, it's near about 650 square miles. And so buffer is also a protected area, but this is a space between the core and the human habitation. But for animals, they really don't understand this division, so they roam around almost everywhere. And here is how the forest looks like. You can see here is the snow peak. This is from the forest view. This is the Snow Peak Mountain. This is the Mahabharat range. Look at this. And here you have, I have taken this picture in the dry time. So it is more looking like this. And you have this riverine forest and the broadleaf forest here. And here is the grassland. And then you have the river out here. And it is a forest like in the Terai land, which is the foothills of Himalayas. And it has almost like sal forest. Sal is a type of tree which has a hard wood. Even, you know what, if you have ever visited India or Nepal or in Asia countries, sometimes you have seen that in the railway track there are wooden planks which has to be really strong. So generally people use the sal wood because they don't get damaged. I mean, almost years after years, they can exactly be like how they have been fixed over there. And they have almost 20% of grassland we have in Chitwan. The riverine forest is almost 7%, which covers near the river's area. And it's a mixed forest, has 3%. So imagine in a national park, which is about 650 square miles, it has so many, it's versatile with different vegetation. I think that brings Chitwan into the top of these animals and birds and like flora and fauna. It becomes so rich in flora and fauna. Yeah, to keep it short. And here in Chitwan, the elevation remains from 110 meter to 850 meter. So there is a cheap pine vegetation as well near the high mountain areas. So here I would say that the lifeline, whenever we talk about the lifeline, we of course bring the rivers into the system. So here we have three main rivers which is flowing through Chitwan is the Narayani, which is a perennial river. And this one where I'm moving the cursor is the Rapti. And from the forest area, there is another river regenerates, and this Rapti and Riu both are the stream fade river. And our lodge where we stay is located somewhere here, this area. So yes, you can imagine just right in front of Rapti, and you have this beautiful mountain, and these are the snow over there. So imagine the view you get each and every morning. Let me tell you a small story. So I have actually worked in Chitwan for 2 years, and the day, sometimes it is cloudy, so you don't get to see the mountain peak. And I love mountains, so everybody knew in my colleagues. So any morning they get to see the mountains very clear. In the morning, I used to get a bang on my door that there is a Himalayas. You can see the Himal. Come out. And yeah, so all this excitement was there, and then somehow, I mean, with a very droopy eyes, I used to come out, but as soon as I see the view from after opening the door, is just my eyes get wide open, though they are really small. Um, so imagine this is the lifeline, and it didn't stop here because it's a perennial river and it has so much of river system due to meandering, and for hundreds of years the landscape kept on changing. And with the landscape, Chitwan has so developed so many wetlands, and they are huge. Sometimes you can't even see the end of the wetland. It's that big, as well as too many oxbow lakes are found, almost 22 to 24 oxbow lakes are there only inside the park. That's 650 square miles area. And here how it looks like. So this is from the a hotel. I mean, not it's a lodge. So where we can see the forest like this. So this is the Rapti River. Here is a small backwater, and here is the core area of the forest. So whenever we have to go to the forest, you have to cross the river and you reach on this side of the forest, and the vehicle wait for us here, and from there we get in. And imagine this is a crocodile, though the picture you cannot, I mean, it's very difficult, but this is a crocodile. And imagine all these kids are moving around over here, but only the local people can use the river. It's not for us. And here is the wetland, how it looks like. See, even after the grassland, there is a patch of wetland, and you get to see the freshwater crocodiles, rhinos, pythons, king cobra, and a lot of other deer. So I think, and birds and wetland birds, oh God, it's full of birds there. So it's very rich with its own ecosystem. And here are the lakes, how it forms. It's not, there are like lakes which looks very clear, but I prefer to this kind of lakes because, you know, the more vegetation you have, the more animals do get into it. So with this, I would say how Chitwan is with the season. So it has mostly three main, like very prominent season, because of I have included that in the previous talk, that due to the global warming and climate change, now the spring and autumn transition, we just see the transition. It doesn't like continue for a longer period, but the transition is absolutely beautiful. So in summer, the temperature can rise up to, I mean, starts from like 89 Fahrenheit to 100 Fahrenheit, which is, yeah, pretty hot, but it's not, it's more than the temperature. It remains very humid, Chitwan. And in generally when we do the trips, it's very nice chill winter, and that temperature remains from 72 to 42 degree Fahrenheit. And in the early morning and in the late evening, you need a jacket, of course, but apart from that, it's a very pleasant weather. And the rainfall Chitwan get, it's almost 114 or 290 centimeter of annual rainfall. So with so much of change in season, especially when the transition happens, you see the forest blooms with so much of colors here, and they are gorgeous. And of course, I did the last webinar with Annie, and we have been talking that when you enter the forest and animal come later, of course, that you will have some sighting, but looking at the forest can make you so happy. I mean, they are just the flowers, so colorful flowers, but you know, when you look with your binocular, each and every flower is having some activities. I mean, all this red silk cotton tree, which is very huge, flower, and you will see a lot of smaller birds are coming close to it to feed on the insects, nectar, and even few feed on the petals or the pollens of the flower. And here it's a Buhania species. It looks like a beautiful butterfly shape it has. So of course that makes it's all the purple, like it turns into purple and white. This Buhania has many shades, so it's a beautiful mix of colors. And this is the water hyacinth, but look minutely, I mean they are so pretty, they're so pretty. And this is called the flame of the forest. We always say that it blooms during March and April, and from the bird's eye view, you will seem like the forest is blooming or it's on fire. That's why it's called the flame of the forest. And we have many vines like this. So after talking about Chitwan, how it is, so I would like to speak about the animals out there, which makes Chitwan more happening. I mean, it is not like you went inside the safari, you saw the beautiful trees and the forest, but at the same time, the momentum keep on happening exactly how it happens in Kaziranga National Park. So these two kind of actually are very similar, but the forest has their own characteristic, of course, but the vegetation wise in some parts they are very similar because both are in the foothills and in the valley. Sorry. Yeah. So here the first one here is a spotted deer. Look how beautiful it is. Sometimes I say, why do you know that why they are called spotted deer? So yes, the answer is very obvious that they have spots, but it says that any of the forest which has spotted deer, you will be able to spot that deer. So that's why I say sometimes it's a bad joke, but yeah, you do see a spotted deer most of the time. And they are beautiful. I mean, the antlers, the stag has the antler, females don't grow an antler, and they will retain the spots all throughout their life. And here comes one of my favorite deer is a barking deer. It's smaller and it lives a solitary life most of the time, apart from the female, and when it's carrying its fawn, apart from that you won't see two barking deer together because they are very choosy about their food, so they don't want to share. And here comes our hog deer. They have spots, but the more they grow, they would lose all these spots. Same here, the male grows the antler, the females don't. But you know, one thing about the hog deer is they don't actually leap. What they do is, if they find something is approaching them, they kind of duck themselves down and try to get in the bush. But if it has to go long, they just stop and they jump. The spotted deer, I mean this one, they will keep on leaping. They have a very huge distance they can leap, and it will be a continuous one. But for a hog deer, it's like they will stop, they will leap, again they will jump, and again they will stop, again they will jump. So I always say that it looks like they are the land dolphins. You know, you just see them coming out of the grass and again coming out of the grass, just like the dolphin, how they go inside the water and after a while again they come out. So yeah, they look like that, and it's almost all the deer are the very staple prey base for the carnivores in Chitwan. Here comes my Arnold Schwarzenegger, or you can choose Stalin as well. They are they are the gaurs. I mean, they are the largest in the bovidian family. Malayan gaurs are the largest. The Indian are the second one. But imagine the build of muscle. This photograph didn't do justice to this whole I mean whole mammal, but they are superbly strong. Sometimes you will see the male, the huge bull, its dewlap is almost touching the ground, and whenever they are walking, the muscles out here, it's like a piano, you know, the black and white reed. So whenever they walk, it's like doing up and down and up and down, and you can feel at how strong those muscle and how much powerful, I mean, how much power it can hold. They can grow up to almost 1600 to 1800 kilos. And do you know that a tiger can hunt down a gaur sometimes? Yes, they do. Yeah, but for that they need to be, I mean, not only the power, but the strategical mind needs to be very mature to get a hold of that size gaur. And here comes the most intelligent animal. That's the elephant, the Asiatic elephant. Though Chitwan is not a place where elephants do stay, they do migrate, and sometimes they do stay over in nearby areas, but mostly we see the bull out here, and see this elephant is already in the mast here. It's already, there's us sipping down from here. But this is not a very big one. This is a smaller, like a young male, looking for the mate out here, and generally they mate with the lodge or the forest department elephant. That is more scary. If you are there on the top of the elephant, imagine, and that happened. Okay, and here comes our showstopper, the one-horned rhino, which is more like a puzzle than a rhino. And even the tail is fixed exactly on the gap of their backward, that curvy muscle, which is our curvy cover, which they have. The tail has also a place to just tuck in. So that's what I like about it. Sorry. This is not even a year old. This is only 1.5 month old baby, I mean calf, and of course it follows the mother everywhere. Very vulnerable to tiger, to not leopard, but yes, mostly the tiger and other male rhinos. But yeah, they do survive. The mothers are very strong. They forcefully protect the babies. And of course, we don't have hippos, I always say, but the rhinos in India and in Nepal, they don't disappoint us, because you will, especially in summer, you will see them wallowing in water for a longer period of time, and exactly they go down, they dip, they blow bubble, and they feed. They keep on feeding while lying down in the water. So that's really make up with for the hippos. So they're the hippos of India and Nepal. And yes, we have the sloth bear, the only bear which carries their cubs on their back. So we have 4 cubs here. Three you can see here. There's 1, 2, 3, and 1 at the back here. Oh my God, I don't know how the mom has been taking care of these 4 cubs. But look at this, they're so tiny. You see the feet here. Sometimes you feel like they are like a soft toy, you can actually hold, and I don't know, you just feel like tickling them a bit. They are so adorable. And here comes our carnivores, which you will, so whenever you are moving in Chitwan, keep a lookout everywhere, because the forest is so thick, you never know who is looking from which area. So look above the tree, around you, and because of the grassland, you don't see much tracks, but still you should know that there are many eyes who are keeping an eye on you. And this is how you see actually behind the bush. You see the massive face. Look at this. Their sizes are huge. Even look at the leopard. It's on the tree. And here comes little more small cats and canids of, there are actually few more, but I have just given the prominent one which you can come across is the leopard cat, which is more, which looks like a house cat. And it has, because of the rosettes and how they move, so that's why they got it. And mostly they live in the trees and the branches, terrestrial. And here is the fishing cat. You might come across after the dark, that they came out from their den and they are catching fish in Rapti, because Narayani is pretty deep. It's difficult for the cat, but in Rapti and Riu, they try to make their catch. This is a jungle cat, and this is a jackal, and this is Indian fox. Imagine the canids and the cats are living together in the same type of grassland and in the forest. So here comes other smaller mammals. This is a crab-eating mongoose. So mongoose are more like the meerkat. We don't have meerkat, so we have mongoose, and it's a very special one. You don't get to see the crab-eating mongoose very like often. So here is the civet cat, copyluke. I hope most of you have heard about it. And this is a small Indian civet, and this is of course the pangolin, but it's very difficult to spot. At least this one, and even this one is much rarer than this one as well. I mean, the mongoose. And here comes our primates: the macaque, the rhesus macaque, and this langur. But I have something very not important. This beautiful thing to show you is this one. Look at the color. Imagine that color of a bat. I mean, this beautiful bright orange. So after it's becoming little dark because it's a insectivore bat, and you know what? There are too many bats, right? But how do you know that you should not miss that there is a painted bat, because it has a butterfly movement. So when you look up, you see all the bats are coming here and there. They're moving around. Just keep an eye. If you see summer butterfly movement, you might see a painted bat. Isn't that pretty? Yes, here comes. I'm really close to I'm close to the reptiles, so it makes me always happy when I speak about them, is the gharial. So gharial have this long snout, and this is a female. That's why we don't have that hump at the on the snout, but the male grow that big hump, which actually resonate the sound when they blow the bubble to attract the female, or to do the territorial dominance to show other male. So this is one of the largest. Imagine a gharial can grow up to 18 feet. This is not 18 feet, but a gharial can grow up to 18 feet. And they are very protective about their hatchlings. They protect their, I think they are one of the, among the reptiles, generally we don't see they are parenting, but in case of gharial, they are very, very cautious about their hatchling. They stay with the hatchling all the time. So the time you will come across a gharial, you will see them like lying down. I have just given two, but sometimes you see like 4 or 5 gharials together, and it's like all the drunken people like on the road, they are lying down on top of each other. Or so the gharial sometimes look like that. One hand is on another face, one tail is on another chest. So it's been fun watching them, just watching them, even if they are not moving. You find out the little things. Somebody got a little scratch, maybe while catching a fish it got hit by something. So all these smaller things you actually notice in case of these reptiles. And this is a huge freshwater crocodile, or we also call it mugger. And this is we took when we had the trip, actually Nat Hab trip only. Our boat was passing. Before I could, first I was like, it was so beautiful. I first just had a look. Then I suddenly realized, oh, I need to take a picture of this croc, because it was, see the shades of the scales it has. It was so beautiful that it took me a few time to, realize that I can actually take a picture of this. So I just got it from the back. And there are a few more reptiles out there: king cobra, pythons, the Burmese python, and this beautiful snakes are there. Look at the color. This one, it's beautiful orange, and this is the ornate flying snake. This is kukri. So it's full of that. Not only snakes. In case of lizards, this is a monitor lizard. So I'll say these are the cousins of our komodos. And here is our garden lizard. This is also a monitor lizard. This is called a Bengal monitor. Because I got a notification here. Sorry. So this lizards and skinks, which is more like a snake, if you just escape the feet, they are very slithery, slimy. They look, but they're very dry, but their scales are very shiny. So here are some turtles and tortoises. There are many more, but at least you will come across few of this. This one is a pretty big one. It can grow up to almost 60 to 70 kilograms. And this is a tortoise. It's a forest tortoise. And these are all like the hard shell turtles, which you might come across near the water bodies. They are basking. Like sometimes you will see that they are basking diagonally, you know, first maybe the right hand and the left leg, and then later the left hand and the right leg. Somehow they balance like that and they do bask. Funny to look at. Here is one of the beautiful and one of the big bird is the hornbill. You get to see the great hornbill out there as well. With hornbill, I mean, I love when it actually flap the wing, you know, that sound. I think that is incredible of that. And to look at a hornbill, and especially in that thick, broadleaf forest, when you hear them like boom, boom, it's resonates the sound, and it seems like, yeah, from everywhere in the forest you can hear the hornbill sound. And then it suddenly you see a flash of yellow and white and black. It's just like flying over your head. Oh, I went back to Chitwan for a while. So here comes a few more beautiful birds here. So these are the red-headed trogopan, the fish owl, the fish eagle. This is a florican, bar-headed geese. You'll get to see a lot during their migration. They all are like the migratory birds out here. And actually, let me tell you, the Chitwan itself has almost 650 birds, but during migration, the number almost reached near about 800. Imagine only in the park, it has been recorded like near about 800 species of bird and almost more than 200 species of butterflies. So it says that when there are many butterflies, you know that forest is very rich, because butterflies need different plants for their habit, like nectaring, roosting, feeding. They have different types of plants. So when there are a lot many, you know that forest is very, very rich. And orchids. I could not fix all the orchids until that. We really don't have that data, or actually I don't know yet that how many orchids are found. Till I know that there are 21 or 23 species have been recorded, but apart from that, there are still researches are going on that to find out the species of land orchids, and also who are like the epiphytes. Here come the tribe, and we have the tribe there is Tharu. They name the ethnic people. They are mostly forest dwellers, but few have learned the agriculture over the period of time. And let me tell you, Chitwan, actually that area near the Meghali, where you go there to check the village as well. So you'll find that they grow almost 24 to 28 species of rice out here. So they are mostly feed on wheat, rice, and small snails from the river. Fish is one of their like staple food as well. They all go out for fishing and come back, and they do their, I mean, cooking by themselves, but with very less spices. They'll get to check that flavor as well where we stay in Meghali. Meghali Sarai, this is where we stay. And you will find the older elderly women, they will have a lot of tattoos like this in their body. Even few actually go tattoos near the neck as well. And see, in the same river, there are crocodiles, especially the bigger one we saw, that freshwater crocodiles. But the kids over there are so accustomed with the wildlife out there. They grow, I mean, this is how you really feel that the coexistence of the man-animal in that patch of the forest. And let me tell you this, that Chitwan, as it was a I mean, the conservation measure, it has been a record, or it has become an example, because in Chitwan, it has been like taken care by the militaries. because of the poaching thing, how for the rhino horn. And not only that, the people, what the government and the forest department people did is they have given the land to the community people, and they have just given them the ownership that this is your part of the forest. If you are taking anything from the forest, and this is your responsibility. Somehow, trust me, these people, they really don't need forest department or the military to protect this community area of forest, because whatever revenue come from that community forest, it all goes back to the community for their medical or the emergency users. So they feel the importance of that forest. And I mean, and you know what, how they have grown, they have taken care of the community forest where even people are not allowed. Community forest is, the animal really don't understand the difference. It's that green, that well vegetative lands are there, that much of clean water where Rapti and this Ryu is flowing by. So I think this is a big example that when you give ownership to the people and make them realize that this is yours and this is your home or this is your subject, I think then people realize that this is mine and I need to take care of it. I mean, you know, you take care of like your own babies. That exactly happened in Chitwan. These are the people from there. You can see the fishing thing. They have been fishing from Rapti. And here is the community forest. Look at this forest. I mean, this is the same type of grassland it has, and this is the forest patch it has. So imagine there is not much difference what we show in the very first picture. So what else you can do in Chitwan? It's like you can take a core walk. Generally we don't do that because on foot we are not allowed to carry guns and stuff. It's only 2 bamboo sticks, but you can take a walk in the core where there are a lot of animals are moving around. And yeah, sometimes it happened that I have come across bear and rhinos are quite a number of times, but thankfully saved. It's all fine there now. And here we can do the jeep safaris. And here in some places, designated areas, if we see the pugmark and all, we can actually there are people, there are guide with us who keep a lookout, and we actually get down to see to understand the track and signs of the animals. And especially if we get to see a tiger pugmark, we try to analyze this, and you can get to see it really close and to see how the the sketch has been done, like how the paw print we take and everything that has been also explained if we get a tiger pugmark. And then we do the boat safari after a lot of, and Chitwan is the roads are pretty bumpy at few areas. So after that, we do a boat safari as well, with like surrounded with thousands of birds. And also there are sightings of sloth bear, leopard, tiger can happen near because they come to drink water here. So that is also there. And of course, rhino. I told you that we never feel that we don't have hippos. So sometimes it happens, you know, that the boat is passing and suddenly you realize that one animal has popped up his head, and that is a rhino. So yeah, this kind of beautiful incidents, the memorable time happens while you do the safari. Even one day it happened that you have a lot of like grass, like vegetation on the riverbed. So one day it happened there was a gharial lying down on the riverbed, and our boat was crossing like that, and I could see, you know, the gharial is like closed its eyes. It's like so calm and quiet, and our boat was crossing over it. Oh gosh, it seems so lively in front of me. So this is how you can do the boat ride, which is very soothing, calm and quiet, because it's not a motor boat. We have to row that, and it's crystal clear water. So this is Rapti coming from here, and this is Narayani from here. And this in the confluence area, we just enjoy the sunset out here. What else we do? That let's keep it a surprise, because there are few more things. Once you are here, you would understand, and I'm sure it will be like awe-striking and amazing experience for you. And you know what? We give a free pedicure. You know how? In this Narayani, because it's coming from the glaciers, carrying a lot of minerals while coming down. So sometimes you get down and you just dip your feet for it's cold water, but 5 to 10 minutes if you dip your feet looks like you have just come out from a parlor. And experiencing that is awesome. And thank you so much for listening to me. And here is the place from the national park area. This is the place where we stay. So imagine it's such a beautiful time to spend here. Thank you so much. I'm ready for the questions.
Thank you, Arpita. Now, before we start the question and answer session, I would like to remind everyone that you can submit your questions via the question field in the control panel. So tell me, when you are on this trip, how early in the morning are we going to start and head out on tour?
Okay, so depending on the time, because in winter also, it changes depending on the sunrise. So, but by 5:30 we have to be ready. Like we come to the area, we have coffee, we have something little bites, and then we start off.
And are we going to have an issue with insects or mosquitoes or?
In winter, we really don't have the mosquitoes and much insects. I mean, especially till March, April, from April onwards, you will feel, I mean, you will see a lot of small insects and stuff, but inside the room, even the vehicle is on move. So you hardly come across those kind of insects which can harm you.
Good to know. Thank you. And so you're saying wintertime might be the best time to come out on this trip? Or
winter, yes. I mean, especially from December to March is a very good time. March to at least April first week, till that time it is very beautiful.
So what are the odds of us seeing a tiger on the trip?
Okay, so as the same thing, I'll say that in Kaziranga and in Chitwan, there are tigers, but it's very difficult to see because of the landscape, because of there's huge elephant grass which almost grows up to 17 to 18 feet. So imagine that it can hide an elephant. So seeing a tiger becomes really difficult, but there are many incidences and many moments that where we have spotted tiger on our trip.
Well, that's wonderful to know. Arpita, your presentation today was so thorough that there aren't any more questions. So I'm going to throw it back to you for any closing comments you may like to share with us.
Sure. I would surely thank everyone to tune in today. And yes, as usual, I always love to talk about the places we visit and also things. But if they want to know more about Chitwan National Park, they can go back to the webinar we did with Annie on the World Heritage Jungle, and also with Payal regarding Nepal and Bhutan. So I think it will be more compact when they get to know about those like talks. And rest, have a great day. And thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, Arpita. And I'd also like to thank everyone who tuned in today. If you're interested in how you can travel with Nat Hab, give us a call at the number on your screen or send us an email at info@nathab.com. Our adventure specialists are happy to help you out. Join us tomorrow for our next daily dose of nature. You can check out this week's lineups, including registration links on our website at nathab.com/webinars. We did record today's presentation, and we will have the replay available on our website soon. With that, I will conclude the webinar. Goodbye, everybody. We'll see you next time.